quick last second addition here, guys. Lighthouse extractions are actually super bugged for a lot of people out there. I end up talking about this a little bit in today's video, so you'll get a bit of a clue to that. But after recording this video, I'm seeing a lot more people report it. So if I were you, I would stay off of Lighthouse, unfortunately, for right now. It doesn't happen to everyone at every extract, but there are a lot of reports of people getting bugged out, having to wait until the absolute end of the raid, and then going MIA at certain extracts on Lighthouse. So again, if you don't want to risk it, then don't play Lighthouse right now. If this stops happening or BSG puts out a fix, I will let you guys know as soon as possible. But until then, it's up to you. Okay, here's the rest of the video. What's up, guys? Nolan here. We actually had some pretty big changes to Escape from Tarkov today with this little patch that we had this morning. Loads of bug fixes and a new change to moving items in raid to specifically target RMT, aka real money transfer, of in-game items, in turn targeting cheaters because that's where they make their money. And I would think that nobody likes cheaters except for cheaters and the people who buy stuff from them, so I'm down to try some possible solutions while we still can. There is a lot of drama around this, and I have a very good idea of why BSG did this change specifically, so I'm going to start with that. If this is something that you already understand, then I put a timestamp in the comments for the actual new info. Otherwise, here's how it works and what I think is happening. As of today, as long as it is working as described, which it seems to be doing as of right now, you will no longer be able to drop several high-value non-found in raid items in raid anymore. So non-found in raid money, almost all barter items, keys and key cards, containers, specific armbands, info items, which we believe are things like diaries, flash drives, and SSDs, as well as specific high-value melee weapons. None of that will be able to be dropped in raid, and you will get a very clear warning about it so that you can't do it by accident, because it is going to get deleted if you do. So this goes for you giving things to your friends as well as the cheaters selling things to dummies. Neither of you will be able to do that anymore. Now, there are some exceptions to this, first of all being found in raid items. So if you found something, you can immediately give it to your friend, no problem. Once that item is no longer found in raid, then that is when that's going to start to take effect. Also, rubles up to 20,000, 3 gold neck chains, 3 kite gunpowders, 2 tool sets, a single roller, a single paracord, a single silicon tube, and a single injector of any type is allowed. None of that will get flagged until you hit the limit. Then afterwards you'll be warned, and it will be destroyed if you still do it. So yes, this obviously sucks, especially if you commonly share items with people. There's no question of that. I'm pretty confident that BSG at least believes cheaters suck more than that though, so they are trying some quick and easy way to try and stop them. From a development perspective, this is good because it allows them to put more time into content or big updates while at least throwing a quick jab at cheaters when they can. There's a good chance that this jab connects well enough to make them wobble, and if that happens, then BSG can step up and finish the job. Now, that wobble might end up looking something like this. Some people are saying this will only promote carries where dummies pay cheaters to carry them through raids, and it's weird to use that word to me because I only see that series of events as a good thing, but at the absolute minimum, just something that we need to test and see for ourselves. It should narrow their ability to sell items, and generally the less they can do, the better. Meanwhile, it puts them in a raid more often. It should really narrow their ability to sell items and completely remove some off the table, and generally the less they can do, the better. Meanwhile, it puts them in raid more often if they are going to be doing these carries, where they will need to actually use the cheats more often on players, and in turn get found, reported, and banned more often. There is no simple or just about this, to me at least. It can only hurt them more, which is the whole point. This must be one of those gold dress, blue dress kind of things because this just seems too obvious to me. However, maybe the collateral damage to our gameplay is too much, but it still makes it a no-brainer to test and see if that actually happens while we still can. Unfortunately, until dummies stop paying cheaters, there's going to be cheaters in the game, and I would really rather not have cheaters in the game, so let's try absolutely everything that we can to get them out. Now, the blowback to non-cheaters is all around giving your friends stuff and looting your player kills. If you kill a player that has more than what is allowed to be dropped in a raid in their rig or backpack or whatever, then the extras will be deleted. The example here being really only Stims, because I just do not see why people would be carrying those other things in rigs, and if they are, then it's so minimal, then why care that much compared to what it's going to do to cheaters? Meanwhile, everything else should have been found in raid, in which case you're good, and this also does not affect guns or gear, so you're also good. Worst case scenario, the game is going to wipe in a few months at most, so they can revert it then or make changes to it to get the most out of it up until then, and we have a new starting point from that point because it's a wipe. The point here being that there is going to be a time when the updates stop. So would you rather try everything that we can do now to stop cheaters before that or after that point? Because the choice is really clear to me. And honestly, if any of your friends fans are really arguing for this, unless there's somebody that just really likes giving away items, which there are some people out there like that, so they get the exception. I would seriously start looking at them for potential RMT. Maybe they end up buying a lot of their stuff, or they're cheating themselves, because seriously, it really is that clear to me. Okay, now that we're done with that, here's a list of other fixes that popped up today. Big ones here being changes to AI behavior that was a bit janky, and the rogues, believe it or not, are still spawning on customs woods and shoreline, so something is definitely going on there. For sure, keep an eye out with that. The last video I made talked about possibilities with that. Maybe they're going to move to other maps. Maybe there's something else going on there. We'll have to wait and see. In other news, that cache site is gone, so I'll just go ahead and call it that BSG removed one of, if not the final step to that event. What was supposed to happen was some kind of fight between two of the traders, where Rizzy was going to meet up with someone and then try to rob them, but it never ended up happening. There was also some potential in there for one of the traders dying. This is the spoilers that I was talking about before. Well, the cache site's down and this never ended up happening, so this just isn't going to happen, so I'm okay with talking about it. If you ended up never seeing those spoilers from those events, you can go back and watch it and get the full details and everything that we talked about there, but that's up to you. So BSG absolutely changed the plans, but whether it was because we didn't pay quick enough or because they didn't like this leaking, we have no way of knowing. Speaking of this event, we're also getting reports of the north checkpoint on Lighthouse not working as an exit, or at least bugging some of the times, and let me know if you guys end up seeing that as well. It could just be a bug. And a quick TLDR in case you ended up skipping ahead, BSG are actually trying to stop the onslaught of cheaters, and this is a simple quick jab to throw at them that might end up connecting and causing a lot of damage, so why not throw it, especially when everything can so easily just go back to the way it was when we end up wiping soon anyway. You know, quotes on soon there because it might end up being a couple months, but you get the point. We're also for sure on some kind of rails heading towards something here, and I still think that it's the Lighthouse expansion patch, so I will of course as always keep an eye out for anything new and let you guys know more once I do. Until then though, for the latest Tarkov news, follow me on Twitter or check these playlists here. If you like this video, then you know the drill. Please subscribe. I really appreciate the people who do. If you are looking for people to play with, check out our Discord, links in the description if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.